Some breaking news. The Las Vegas Raiders have just traded cornerback Jakorian Bennett to the Philadelphia Eagles for defensive tackle Thomas Booker IV. My name is Mitchell Renz. Y'all are watching the Raiders Report, and coming up here on today's show, I'm going to tell you exactly why I believe the Las Vegas Raiders ended up making this move to go out and get another defensive tackle. I know that I'm not at the studio. Literally, as soon as I get done doing this video, I'm going to march my butt back to the Chat Sports Studios. I'm going to be going live on the Raiders Report. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure those notifications are turned on because I want to talk about this deal a lot more because I think there is a lot to talk about. So first off here, if you're wondering, Mitch, what exactly was the trade? The trade was straight up. The Las Vegas Raiders received defensive tackle Thomas Booker IV, and then the Philadelphia Eagles, they end up getting cornerback Jakorian Bennett. Let's first talk about why I think the Raiders moved on from Jakorian Bennett. This was a guy coming out of his third year. He was somebody that, drafted in the fourth round out of Maryland. Really, really good athlete. But he was also drafted by the Josh McDaniels regime. So Josh McDaniels regime, they're with, obviously Mick Ziegler, Dave Ziegler on top of that. Then he gets a whole brand new regime with Tom Telesco, gets a whole brand new regime with Antonio Pierce. Now he's going on his third regime. That can be really difficult for a young player that has been as inconsistent as what Jakorian Bennett has been. I mean, we know that he's a good athlete. We know that he can, he struggles to stay healthy. But when he was on the field last season, let's get it straight. He was better than Nate Hobbs. He was better than Jack Jones. I thought he was the best corner overall on this team, but really did struggle with a lot of injuries. But then again, you got to look at what this regime did. This regime went out and they got Eric Stokes. They went out and they drafted Darian Porter. And those two players have really stepped up. Porter has outplayed Jakorian. Eric Stokes has been the number one corner. But the guy that I really think is the reason why this trade ended up going down, and you hate to say that, but it's the step up of Jakorian Richardson. When I interviewed Dante Thornton Jr., just a few weeks ago at this point, he said one guy that's really sticking out at camp, Jakorian Richardson. And that has always been a name that I've paid close attention to. And I think it's the surgence of somebody like DCAM. And maybe it's been the inability to stay healthy with Jakorian, why he's fell down a little bit. But if you're looking at a Philadelphia Eagles team, they probably wanted to capitalize on a guy that, again, was a really, really good athlete. And he is a really, really good athlete. And they're probably going to be able to work with him. On the other side of it, though, if you're the Raiders, you're sitting there going, well, I was able to get a defensive tackle, and I'm really curious what you guys have to say about this. So I want to know down below, who won the trade? If you think the Las Vegas Raiders did, say Raiders and tell me why. If you thought the Philadelphia Eagles ended up winning this trade, I want you to tell me why. My answer is going to be coming up right here after this YouTube ad break. The reason why I'm going to say it's the Las Vegas Raiders is because from what it sounds like right now, Jakorian Bennett really wasn't going to be seeing the field all that much. And I think for the silver and black, you're looking at a situation that you're in right now, and you're able to go out and you're able to get a defensive tackle. And I don't know how much he's going to be able to help to replace Christian Wilkins. But I think what that also says is we just need more bodies on that defensive line. I think it also means that he's almost a lock to make this roster, and I get it. You got to have that compete mentality, and technically nobody is a lock at any point. But to me, I think Jakorian Bennett would have made this squad. And I would hope that we didn't just trade away a player for a guy that's not going to end up making this squad. So I do think that he is somebody that they're going to be relying on the defensive line. But I believe in Rob Leonard. And I believe in Rob Leonard's ability to be able to work with good athletes. And that's what Thomas Booker is. Our Eagles host here, Chase Sr., I said, give me a quick little paragraph on him. It said, Thomas Booker is a smaller defensive tackle. I mean, he's 6'3", 300 pounds, but explosive get-off. Went to Stanford, was a surprise guy who made the 53 last season after a really good preseason and had some good snaps during the season. Eagles are just stacked at defensive tackle. That's why they probably felt like they could move on. Now, I'm looking at his PFF grades. The PFF grades, I'll be honest, they're not fantastic. A 53.4 overall grade, a 54.1 pass rush grade, 51.1 run defense grade. But the reason why I want y'all to believe in this trade is because, again, of Rob Leonard. I think Rob Leonard is one of the best defensive line coaches in the National Football League. And when he works with players of that type of, breakdown, we usually get the best out of those type of guys. I mean, listen to this right up here for his strengths. And this is the type of player that I think Pete Carroll and this team is looking for. And I'm going to say a word, and you guys are going to go, okay, I get what they're trying to do. And, one thing that Jakorian... I'll say this. Thomas Booker, team captain, 3-year starter. 9 out of the 11 players that the Raiders drafted this past year were team captains. That matters to this team. He's got good athletic ability for a big man. That matters to this team when you have a good coach. That's what you're trying to go with. Slide quickness to work across the gaps, so he moves quick side to side. I think the problem with him, and again, the weakness are 2 sacks in his last 18 games. Occasionally struggles as a play finisher. So to me, it looks like somebody who has a lot of the tools, but maybe hasn't been able to put it together. You're hoping somebody like a Rob Leonard is able to, really kind of unpack that and crack it open. Patrick Graham has done a great job like that, and I think Pete Carroll really specializes in guys that, maybe he's struggled staying 100% motivated all the time. Go give him a self-motivator like Pete Carroll. Go give him a coach like Rob Leonard, and that's the type of player that I think we do the best with. But then, there's always that one thing, and that one thing is coaching connection. And I feel like I always say it every single time the Raiders end up doing something. And the coaching connection or front office connection that I initially thought of right from the jump, because again, Booker, this is somebody that, somebody that was drafted out of Stanford in the NFL draft, 5th round of the 2022 draft, played with the Houston Texans, okay? Then he went to the Philadelphia Eagles, and he played for the Eagles from 2023 to obviously, 2024, 2 full seasons. The reason why that's important is because the Raiders, reminder, they hired Brandon Hunt this offseason. Where did he come from? Right now for the Raiders, he is the vice president of player personnel. Brandon Hunt, that's who they hired him. Hunt comes to Las Vegas from the Philadelphia Eagles, where he was a part of the Super Bowl championship team. He most recently served as the senior director of scouting in 2024 after 2 seasons as the director of scouting in 2022 and in 2023. So that to me is what this big connection is. And then prior to his arrival in Philadelphia, spent 12 seasons as a pro scouting coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So to me, this is somebody that's, again, really, really tied in well with the Philadelphia Eagles, somebody that Thomas Booker comes on over from there, and you're seeing just right from the jump. Like, that's got to be a coaching connection of some sort that we're going to look at. But overall, the Raiders probably felt like Jakorian might have been on the outside looking in. And some people are going to look at that as a bad thing. Maybe that is just really, truly, we're having a lot of these players in the secondary play better than Jakorian. Like, if you told me that Cameron Richardson, Eric Stokes, and Darian Porter are going to play better than what Jakorian did last season, I'm going to be really fired up about it, and I hope that's the case. Also, what I hope the case is, Booker shows up ready to go. I hope he keeps on fighting. I'm literally getting ready to leave right now. I'm going to head to the studio, and I'm about to go live here on the Raiders Report. So make sure y'all are subscribed. Turn on those notifications, though. I am getting a message right now from Jeremy. He's saying it's about to go down. It's about to go down on the Raiders Report. Again, decided to go make a quick little video here. The Philadelphia Eagles traded Thomas Booker to the Raiders. The Raiders ended up trading Jakorian Bennett over to Philadelphia. I will say this. If you've been following the show for the last week, I've been saying I think the number 1 player most likely to get traded by the Raiders, Jakorian Bennett. If you're looking for more videos around the Raiders, hey man, click the subscribe button right here. I promise you, I'm going to keep you up to date. If you're looking for even more videos around the silver and black, click on this button right here, and you can click on this button right here. These are both recommended by YouTube. I'll see you guys here in a little bit. About to go live on the Raiders Report.